for joining us, guys. Questions for our student athletes. We'll start with Justin and then Mike.
Chubba, can you talk about this Chowing Down with Chubba series and how that got started and how it's been so far?
Yeah, I mean, as far as how I got started, it started off as a joke, really. I remember I was talking with Ben Thenis and Tolbert Lane, and I remember I had mentioned, like, when I was younger, because I used to be on a diet when I was younger, and, like, one of my dreams was to be Man vs. Food or, like, Guy Fieri. And they're like, Ben bring it up, he was like, what if I made it happen? Would you do it? I was like, hell yeah. And then now, here we are.
What's it like sharing that experience with your teammates, other athletes, and what's been your favorite restaurant so far?
I mean, it's been amazing, you know, just being able to just do it, you know. You see it all the time on TV or, like, just people posting on, like, social media and stuff like that. But being able to do it with my teammates, you know, it's been nice, you know, not having to do it alone, you know, share the wealth, you know. Yeah, food is food, you know, it's great. Who doesn't like free food? And, I think as far as my favorite spot so far, probably Baja Cafe is fire. That strawberry shortcake pancakes, fire.
Michael and Troy.
Chase, have you been invited on one of these outings?
No, not yet. I need to get on Chowing Down with Chubba though. I need to.
But my serious question is, what is his role in the locker room? What kind of a leader is he? What is his influence on the team?
I feel like ever since Chubba been here, like I can't explain it because Chubba impacted so great in the locker room just because of the person he is, how he carries himself, like nicest human being I've ever met. Like go out his way, do whatever for anybody. Great leader. Like really go on and on about Chubba. Like his impact is great and is known around all of Tucson, really.
Troy and then David.
So Chubba, that Kansas State game, you saw you get it in there. Now you are listed as number one on the depth chart at your position. Just your progression since making the switch from D tackle to offensive line. What have you seen out of yourself, and you know, just how's it going out there at guard?
Well, for me, first off, I just gotta give a shout out to our coaches and my teammates. You know, all the guys on the O-line, they made it, you know, so much easier for me as far as just giving me a lot of tips and tricks for like little things as far as like technique goes and like just noticing little things. And shout out to Coach O, Coach Baker, Coach Stu, you know, those guys just taking time out of their day, you know, extra time within their busy schedules to just, you know, sit me down and, you know, just really teach me like the ins and outs of all the plays and just not even learning just my position, just learning what everybody has to do. And I'm just trying to, you know, take in as much information as I can and just go out there and have fun, you know, just leave it all out there.
David and then Brian.
Yeah, Chubba, what has been fun for you just about making this transition, and how do you see it being different from defense to offense?
I mean, for me, just playing is fun, you know, because at the end of the day, football is a sport we all fell in love with when we were a kid. So just being able to be out there on the field with my brothers is just, you know, the funnest thing in the world to me. And as far as the difference, you know, it's a lot different because defense, you can have more of an individual impact. But on offense, you have to work more as especially on the O-line, you have to work as a group. And, you have to be selfless, just do your job, like nothing more, nothing less. As long as you do your job, everybody does what they calls up, then, you know, it's a victory at the end of the day. You know, just play hard too.
Yeah, what's that feeling like kind of when you bend the seam back and you feel Ishmael behind you kind of rolling through for a big game? What's now that you're in that role, what's that feeling like when you look up and say, man, we got a big run out of this?
Well, for me, it's just, I kind of just think about everybody else. It just makes me happy to see, to look around, you know, see Izzy running down the field, see all the boys chasing them, looking on the sideline, and see everybody celebrating, you know, just that feeling of seeing everybody happy. You know, all the hard work we put in, you know, it pays off in those little moments, you know, seeing, everything go together, especially after the fact, you know, we come back and watch film and just literally watching every little thing, you know, this person, and just how all the pieces just connect together and then you just see wonderful masterpiece. Yeah.
Brian and Justin.
Chase, looking at the film for Iowa State with all their use of the tight ends, what kind of difficulty comes from knowing that you may be having to guard guys that are bigger than you?
I mean, I play DN, so for me individually, it's not too big of a change because going from 320 pounders to 250 pounders is a difference. But at the end of the day, we just gotta play ball like we know how to do, violent, fast, physical, and that's what we're gonna do.
But I mean, if you're out in coverage against these kind of guys, just like, I mean, is it a matter of because of their physicality that you have to do something different than you would if it were a running back or a receiver?
I think most definitely got to take that into factor, just their size and speed difference. You got to play it a little different. But I think the biggest challenge that we'll get just from guarding them in a way is just, that size. But I feel like that we big too, and we're going to handle it.
Justin and Michael.
Chase, through 3 games, what do you think has contributed to your guys' success on defense?
Red line. I ain't gonna lie, the effort that we put in, it just don't come on Saturdays. It come throughout the week, Monday through Sunday or so. That's what we've been preaching in meetings. That's what we've been preaching in practice. Just effort, knowing your assignment, knowing what to do, running to the ball, and really just playing ball to the wall. And that's what we've been trying to do every single day.
And then that 4 linebacker look that you guys rolled out last week, what do you think about that and just kind of the versatility that you guys have at linebacker?
I think it just speaks to the talent and, like you said, the versatility in the room, because once Coach G put it in and started, we was all happy that we were just able to play with each other at the same time on the field. And so I think that made it even better because we love each other, we love competing, and that just allowed us to work, really push each other because we wanted it to get done. We was always asking for that kind of package just because we love each other, and it's fun. I think it allows us to do something very unique, very different, just like with all the things we do as you see it on film. And I'm excited. I was excited about it.
Michael and David.
One question for each for Chubba. Probably the biggest issue the offensive line has had so far is the holding penalties. There have been a bunch of them. What are some of the techniques or fundamentals that you guys have been working on over the last week and a half or so to maybe not commit those penalties?
For us, it's just a lot of it has to do with our feet work. Just getting our feet faster. Just tighten up the feet work, and as far as like the pass pro goes, and also just we've been doing a lot of hand work. Learning how to rerun. Not learning, but emphasizing it. Just over exaggerating it so we can build the muscle memory to just really use our hands in the right places.
Quick follow up to that. How hard is it when the back or the quarterback is already gone past the line of scrimmage and the defender trying to get away from you to not grab on?
I mean, it's pretty hard, but you learn to kind of read their body language, the defenders. You can kind of tell when the quarterback's rolling out a certain way just because their eyes follow them, or they just kind of run. Sometimes you just kind of get caught up in it, so you kind of can't escape it. But for the most part, it's not too difficult to deal with. It's just more annoying, if that makes sense.
And then for Chase, I asked Coach Brennan yesterday if there was a turning point for the defense, maybe sometime over the summer, either workouts or training camp. And he referenced that one practice you guys had inside where I think there were 5 interceptions in about 15 minutes. What do you remember about that?
That practice. So going into that practice, we had a challenge to get 3 takeaways, and it was like 2 or 3, I don't remember, but we ended up getting 5, and they all just came in that one scaly period. And I just remember the energy, the feeling in the indoor. That was one of the craziest moments I've ever been in part of college football. It was just pick after pick. That just comes from people doing their assignment, doing their job, and playing with effort and energy.
David and then Jason.
Yeah, but it was pretty clear from the first practice that this defense was different than maybe what we had seen last year. Why do you think you guys were able to gel so quickly and make it look so seamless into what Danny wanted you guys to do?
Well, honestly, we didn't want the same thing that happened last year happen again. And I think once everybody made up their minds and people we brought in as a transfer, even high school kids, I think we just all decided to flip that page, turn the corner, and Coach G really instilled it, that red line. Coach Brennan, I feel like that's what really got us there. Just weight room, Coach Carroll pushing us, talking about the price never decreases, always increases. And I think just hearing that every day, it forces you to just put that in your mind, just dominate everything you do, no matter what it is. You can be tying your shoe, I'm gonna beat you to tie your shoe. And that's just how we operate.
There was a number of plays in the game against Kansas State where you put pressure on the quarterback, maybe didn't get the sack, but got in his face enough to affect the play. What's key about those types of plays, those types of looks, the blitzes they're sending you on that allows you to be able to affect the quarterback?
I think this comes from just within the scheme we play, is how we operate and the play, the call. Like, it could be anybody right there. It's just about doing your job and really just playing sound football. But I feel like the way we pressure the quarterback, though, I feel like people really see that, and offenses don't have to take account for that because people know Coach D aggressive, and we're gonna keep doing that, keep sending pressure, and just playing our style of football.
Jason and Troy.
For Chubba, is there I would say that's really good interior lineman, Dominic Orange. Is there, when you go up against a guy like that, what does your mindset have to be, or how do you kind of approach those types of matchups?
Well, for me personally, just knowing that, knowing and believing that our front five is better than any 3, 4, or 5 that you put against us, and knowing that whatever job needs to be done is going to be done. And as far as the mindset goes, you just got to believe that whoever's lined up in front of me, they can't go against us. There's nobody that we can't block together. So.
And then for Chase, I asked Coach Brennan last week, and he told me to ask the players, why do you think when you watch you guys play defense, it's very apparent that guys are hitting harder and more aggressive? Why do you think the mindset or the approach has changed from last season to this season?
Violence, like we hit bags every day at practice. Like, everything we do is just geared towards playing more physical than the person across the line from you. And so we instill that like every day from the players, coaches, everybody. Like, physicality is what we try to harp ourselves on, try to hang our hat on, and we're gonna try to make that our identity. So we're just gonna keep coming and keep coming. That's it.
I'll ask Toby, Troy, and Justin.
So 2 questions, Chase. When you have this bye week, usually you have a chance to see your opponent play, but both teams were off. So on that Saturday, what are you watching? What are you looking for? Is it just film on Iowa State, or are you looking across the conference?
I ain't gonna lie, this Saturday I watched a lot of Big 12 games at Utah, Texas Tech. Watched some of my old boys play over there. That was an interesting game. Arizona State, Baylor, another one. And really, the only thing we could do for real, chill, watch football. Iowa State didn't play, so I watched a couple little highlights. When they played Arkansas State last week, and that's really all you can do when an opponent doesn't play for real. But it was a good game on this week.
And then, real quick on Iowa State, just their schemes, the tight end usage there. What have you seen out of their offense and just the highlights and film that you watched so far?
Just like us, I feel like their style of football is physicality, and we just got to match that. We got to bring it, do exactly what we do, play how we play, and that's gonna solve everything we do. But they're a good football team. Like to run a lot of tight end stuff, 12, 13 personnel. And we got different things that we've been working on just throughout this week to try to match that or to play, to do what we do for us. So we just gonna play physical. I like us. We gonna be alright.
Finish up with Justin.
Chubba, can you talk about the relationship you had with your dad and what this season means playing for him?
Yeah, just my dad, he's my hero growing up. The guy I looked up to, and he was a man of very few words, but his actions spoke loudly. He's a big guy, but he never talked much. But I think just my dad, he was one of my main motivators in this football stuff. He didn't know much about football. He didn't know much about sports in general, but all he knew was I had to work hard, and that's all he did. From the moment he met my mom, all he did was work and provide for our family since 1991, 1992 when they met. And I just learning that from my father, just putting my head down and just keep working, being humble. And as far as the season goes, every time I do strap on the helmet, put on the shirt pads, first thing I see is his face. I can just hear him in the back of my head, just cheering me on, telling me let's go. Whenever I do mess up, it's it's all right, on to the next. Just keep it going. Yeah.
He's a big Raiders fan? Is that right?
He is.
Are you named after him, James?
I am.
Okay. And what did it mean to come back to Tucson after he passed and to have the support from your teammates and the coaches?
It meant the world to me, it meant a lot to me and my family, especially my mother. That was the love of her life. She's taking it really hard. But just knowing that, you tell your parents all the time, like, yeah, Mom, I'm doing good over here. I got a family over here. They love me. But to see that, to really see it and feel it, it just hits different. And it assured me that, I made the right decision to come here to Arizona. And yeah, I'm grateful for it.